MYTH2-24. The scattered light crushes the view white. Messiah, who could not see anything and could not feel anything and fell into the sense that his feet unexpectedly escaped, stretched out his hand to cling to the body of Jeff in a panic. However, there is no human feeling besides, noticing that people's signs have disappeared in the surroundings. Is he also attacked by a mysterious phenomenon? And fingertips of anxious creeps in my heart. At that time, I felt like I calmed down his uneasy feeling. I gently put my hands on my shoulder. It's okay to open your eyes. Messiah Krista opened slowly with the eyelids closed to force, as prompted by the voice. When noticing the back of the leg, the feel of the ground and the sense of gravity were back. The sight was blurred for a moment due to the strong eyelid closure, so it was not able to see the face of the person who put his hand on his shoulder. As visibility gradually became, I recognized that the face of the person of that hand was not a human. A folded small beak and a roundly spreading eyes, feathers that covered tightly from face to toe. But walking with biped walking, limbs are similar to that of human beings. However, it is not a human being, but a bipedal human bird more than 2 meters walking biped, the most appropriate living body to describe as a bird. Human being emitted human words from the beak and soft feathers on his shoulder. The hand covered with it was put on. Indeed, the Messiah lost the concept of words and made the head blank. The birds move the beak, making the round eyes sharply thin like laughing it. I am surprised because you are too different from you, but please be relieved. I will not eat you, etc. Birdman who dismissed his arms and laughed like Kita and Cage. Messiah who is stunned by this heard that multiple laughs echoed behind the bird. Human beings, for the first time the field of vision faced the fact that it is part of the expansive space. I cannot see the future. Just mechanical sound was distorted and wrapped in the space. I could not see the end. There was not any change in the darkness inside the station. The difference lies at its feet. The steel floor on which he stands is a huge mechanical disc type of about 20 meters when viewed closely, and there are several similar discs in front and back, left and right, top and bottom, floating in the space. There seemed to be more than one person, and their emotions laughed at the bird's human voice. Even though it was a human figure, only things that looked strange or more than bird humans all came together. Although the human type, the waist is as thin as the arm, and a person whose legs are longer than the other, the whole body was covered with metal scales. A head-only person also seemed to Messiah. It has a color like a huge marshmallow, no nose, 4 eyes, a tentacle of the same color as the head from the head without a head, stopping while floating in the hollow it was. It also possesses obscure flesh lumps filled with yellow liquid inside floating objects such as spherical glass, even things that are unknown, even life forms, and long and angular indirect like insects, and 8 supporting the body with 4 limbs. It is a rattle and a word, or a word that scrapes something in the back of a throat, a thing that makes a sound like ringing something, an elongated life form that constantly glides on wings and does not stop inside the disc, always glides in the air. It was overflowing with a heterogeneous life form comparable to devil's children who struck Messiah in the station, such as an octopus which was smaller than the average of humans and green like 50 centimeters. A hand was rested on his shoulder from behind. Looking back at the thought that the whole hair is standing up, the faces including the priest, who shared the life, were all aligned. I do not need to worry, they are the reinforcements they have been waiting for. On the face of the smiling father, I felt like I was relieved, which I could not see at the station. The reinforcement seems to be the same as the monster of the station to me. Ire Togahanov dazzled escaped reinforcements before the reinforcement and looked surprisingly around the surroundings. Excuse me. My sister touched his brother's shoulder and apologized for his disrespect to those who came to save them, despite his brother's brain. There is no impossibility because Earth human beings have not yet contacted with extraterrestrial life forms. Birdman also returned a smile to Elizabeth like a cheek. If you say out of the earth, is it that you are an alien as seen from us? What has come forward is a face-long face of Van Toppen. Standing in front of a birdman, I gazed at the eyes of a birdman who cannot be an earthling person and asked with an interested tone. That will be the case, the aliens who are still not in contact with us, such as the allies of the army. Politely the bird human answered the question of the fans. Because I'm talking about here, let's talk while moving. And the birdman said the multiple floating discs started moving in the horizontal direction all at once. Because we are going through the darkness, we do not know which direction we are headed for, and also with the tremor of the first micro-tremor alone, even the sensations that are moving are not felt by the Messiah. Just for a while, as the disc progressed, I could see blue light coming little by little from the far side, but quickly passed through the inside of a huge tunnel like a blue tendency light at a speed, and the flock of discs moved to continue. Is this supposed to be inside the building? The muscular body of Lee Vance is asked by a birdman while rigidifying the muscles whether it is due to tension or a feeling of exhaustion. Birdman looked at Lee Venus like a bird with a momentary neck movement with a round eye and answered with a gentle voice in a question. Although it is accurate as an expression in the sense of a building, the internal structure forms a subspace field, so it seems to be impossible to perceive at the three-dimensional level. I was not able to interpret the meaning of the words of bird humans what most of the party is saying. The priest chews this and explains to young people. Even if the outside is a 10-meter building, the interior is a different space that makes it even faster. When I told you so, I could not feel the real feeling. Just as young people realized, I was able to get a feeling of passing through a tunnel of a fluorescent color that a flock of discs passed by, and barely transferring at a high speed. And, as everyone was stunned, the face of a birdman changed to a serious face, as the seriousness of the birds rapidly increased. The situation is more serious than we think. Myth wars may be different from the history we know. A future-minded person, Max Dinger, who heard this narrowed the eyebrows, and a new soldier, Baldo Bull, spread the embarrassment puzzle as a ripple in his face. History has resulted in a further deepening of brutality. Continue to Second Talk 25.